In this video, we're going to be showing a PvZ on Antigua Shipyard with a forge opening into a +1 Zealot Void Ray Timing, which is currently the rage for the pros and the current metagame, as it's pretty effective in maintaining a nice pressure but not overcommitting and turning you into a 2-base all-in. Right now, you're just going to see me doing the normal 9 pylon at the bottom of the ramp for the forge opening. I usually stick with the 13 forge just because I'm kind of afraid of 6 pulls, and on this map it's pretty large, so I'm not going to get a really fast scout rather than on like Shakura's Plateau, for example. So I'm often scouting. A key things about this build is you should maintain void ray production up to around 2 or 3 just for map control, and that's what they provide you. That's their main goal, is map control against early roach aggression, and with letting you get that third up really quickly. So back to the game, we're going to be seeing me scouting, just looking for his hatch. As always in PvZ, when you're scouting your Zerg opponent, you want to be noticing a key couple things: his spawning pool timing and his gas timing. Here's the 13 forge. Like I was saying, hold on, let me get in his base real quick, and here we go. So I noticed that he has around a 14 timing pool, which means no rush is inbound, no fast link, so no early cannons, and I can go on along with my 17 nexus. I also noticed that there's no gas, and this is a bigger deal. With no gas means I don't need to throw down a second cannon, so I'm not afraid of all-ins. There's no more ling run-bys, there's no bailing busts. It's just a more, as a toss, you feel safer. So this, in my opinion, this is good to see. You know he's going for a macro mode. You know he wants to get that fast second and third up in this case. So my Nexus is going to be going down as I try to block his hatch and make sure he's not trying anything sneaky. So third's down, or second's down for me, and he's continuing on just as normal. After your Nexus goes down, you should put your gate if it's a normal pull timing. I mean, your cannon will be down in time, and you get that fastest Cyber Core up for your Stargate. So the cannon goes down right after the Stargate. I mean, right after the gate. There it goes. And then immediately after, a pylon. This should all be done on 17 probes. As you notice, I'm at 17 supply. Immediately after this, you produce another probe, going up to 18 supply, and double gas, as you see me doing now. Double gas is just for your +1 timing, your +1, and your void rays. So it's pretty important you don't miss that gas timing, or your pressure will be a little slower and far less effective. You see me going back again to scout for his second and third, just to make sure no shenanigans. You know, those Zergies are pretty gay sometimes. My third's finishing up now, and I'm gonna put down my Cyber Core. A key thing to note: you don't start Warp Gate research until after your +1 attack upgrade is started. So just the timings end up just to be around proper. For now, we're just macroing up, you know, common things. You notice I scouted him again having no gas, so I'm positive now that he is taking his third. There's no doubt in my mind, and this is where I'm going to go into the +1 Zealot timing. I notice his Ling still has no speed at 530, so these are some key timings that you're looking at. You're going to be chronoing your +1 timing, and not really on the Cyber Core too much, probably 1 or 2 chronos at most. Mostly concentrating on pro production and getting up that Stargate as fast as possible, usually around 27, 28 supply. This build has no sentries in it, so you have to be very careful in your scouting. Ling run-bys and bailing pressure can kill you, so that's why I was so adamant of scouting on the gas timings and making sure that's not happening. At around 30 supply, you drop down your another pylon in your base for your gates to be thrown down, and you're going to probe up to around 33, 35 supply. During this time, your +1 should be going as always and being chronoed. Alright, so around 35, I cut pro production, I dropped down 3 gates for a total of 4 gates. So, hence the 4 gate +1 Zealot timing. My Stargate should be done, and I should immediately, when I get the money, start my production. as you see there, and constantly chrono the Void Ray. When your warp gate's about, 3/4 of the way done, is when I recommend start pushing out on the map with your Zealot and Probe to get that proxy pylon down. So right now it's about 7:25, so it's a good timing just in your head. Luckily on this map, you can place a pylon on the high ground to warp in on the low ground, so it's not as big a deal to move out early, but nonetheless. During this time, I'm chronoing out my Void Ray and non-stop producing through that Stargate. Probably around 2 to 3 Void Rays, depending on how it's going with the pressure, but no more than that. This whole time, I'm not taking my double gases. I don't really have the minerals to spare. My proxy pylon goes down at its third. My warp gates open up, proper timing. My Void Ray gets there just in time. Your main goal in this pressure is to kill the queens and then the spore colonies to make your Void Ray harass that much more effective. You're gonna see my Zealots warp in right here, and they just eat Zerglings with that +1, and they're really not effective in any way. Right here we can see it. Engage, and continuing Void Ray production and getting my double gas after my first Zealot warp in. So Zealot warp in and double gas drop down for my later tech switch. Notice I'm still focusing the queens and producing Void Rays. Since I noticed that he's kind of not handling the pressure too well, I decided to go into a Phoenix to scout what he's doing in his main. Scouting is always hugely important. Alright, the first roach pops. So now I know that he's had to commit to roaches, and I can loosen up on the pressure a little bit and start dropping down my tech, which I should be doing pretty soon. Again, Void Rays crush roaches. At home, I'm warping in sentries now to gain energy and throw down a Robo, Twilight, and about 2 more gates, so a total of 6 gates of Robo and Twilight Bay. This lets me have Blink, Immortals, and that's pretty much one thing that can kill me is like really heavy roach aggression. But coupled with the Blink, Sentries, Immortals, and Void Ray map control, I really can't die. And if this third deck goes down, if you manage to get this third down, you're sitting fantastic. Alright, moving on. So we're going a little faster now since the Void Ray pressure is happening. That's pretty much the main point. I'm just warping in some silent sentries as always. Sentries are a huge part of Protoss play. Some stalkers and getting up that Immortal as I notice heavy roach aggression. So he's coming through, and the cool thing about this build is that it stops this hard push that usually does a lot of damage. Since obviously roaches can't shoot up and Void Rays eat them. So from this point on, I'm in control of the game. I can take my third before the Zerg does. My income is higher, and I have perfect scouting information with that Phoenix. I mean, you can't ask for a better position. From here, you can transition into Colossus if you notice Hydras, and I do right here. So Colossus Bay goes down, and I go into Colo production with Blinkstalker Immortal. While taking my third. At this point, the Zerg's pretty much dead, to be honest. I mean, a toss that's going with even food count at this stage in the game with a pro lead, there's little he can do to get back into the game. I'm just going to be solidifying my lead, macroing up and getting that composition I want. Usually in this scenario, against Roach Hydra, you're going to want Colossus, as always, with a nice sentry count, so you can force field and keep those roaches from hitting you. He's going to try attack probably, but you really should be in a good enough lead to defend quite easily if you keep with the map architecture. You see him trying to open up other attack paths, but of course against Zerg you're going to want to Sim City as much as possible, so you're going to see me throwing down some gates and blocking it off. My Colo's popped out now, so I'm pretty much golden. Nothing really he can do right now can kill me. So now you want to be thinking about what can get him back in the game. So what I'm thinking about is bailing drops from Overlords, and you'll see me quickly view whenever running to my base, because those can just be terrible. Really big muta tech switch, but at this point if he does that it's going to be a base trade, and hopefully you can just crush him before he's able to kill you. I mean, still, even when you're this far ahead, you want to be very careful about engaging the Zerg. You don't want to be in a wide open where you can get another nice concave. Again, force fielding, you want to keep him kind of split up and just funnel through roaches slowly. If you see him pushing through completely, you can just cut it off with a force field. This is pretty much going to be the ending engagement. I mean, we're even food, but even food Protoss for Zerg, doesn't go quite their way. Here's just a battle, keeping the Zerg in a choke, and finishing up. His hatch goes down, and that's pretty much game. He's gonna try to kill me here, but with Blink Stalker Micro, little he can do. There we go. So GG.